Hey there! Today's book talk will be about the narrative of Arthur Gordon Pym, written by Edgar Allan Poe. The genre of this novel is gothic and lyrical fiction, and contains three types of plots: the pathetic plot, the testing plot, and the disillusionment plot. Edgar Allan Poe was a very famous writer who lived a rather extraordinary and heartbreaking life. He was born on January 19, 1809, in Boston, Massachusetts. He wrote many short stories and poems. He was famous for his eerie and macabre stories. His most famous stories are The Raven, The Telltale Heart, and The Murders of the Rue Morgue. He lost many family members at an early age, causing him to get depressed and die at the age of 37. I think the reason he writes creepy and mysterious stories is because of the hard and depressing life he lived. The story is developed in the mid-1800s, with the major characters adrift in the middle of the ocean. The story is about Arthur Gordon Pym of Nantucket. Arthur has a great desire to go sailing because of his friend, Augustus. He and Augustus gets invited on board a ship, the Grampus, but his family disapproves. Instead of obeying, he sneaks and hides in the ship. After spending many days in his hideout, he becomes confused because Augustus hasn't let him out yet. When Augustus finally visits him, he tells him the horrors that had happened on board. The first mate has led a mutiny and decapitated many crew members. Augustus, Arthur, and one of the mutineers retake the ship and kill the mutineers. Unfortunately, a massive storm destroys the sails, leaving them at the mercy of the sea. The ship drifts for days, until they spot a ship in the distance. Rejoicing with their luck, the men soon realize the utter terror that has approached them. An important passage of the novel would be right after Arthur's first adventure at sea, when he almost died. He says, "It might have been supposed that a catastrophe such as I have just related would effectually cool my incipient passion for the sea. On the contrary, I have never experienced a more ardent longing for the wild adventures incident to a life of a navigator than within a week after a miraculous deliverance." Arthur Gordon Pym, page 19. My favorite character is Arthur Gordon Pym, who is dynamic and round. I admire his courage and relate to his persistence. For example, when his desire for sailing sparked, he seized the first opportunity he got, even defying his family's wishes. This shows the determination he had for sailing. And when he learned that the ship had undergone a mutiny, his first reaction wasn't regret, but defiance by asking himself, "What can I do to survive?" He was willing to risk his life rather than to accept defeat calmly. The major theme of this novel would be education is not the difference between civilization and savagery, contrary to popular belief. The book was written in a time of great racism towards African people. One of the crew members, the cook, was shown as the perfect demon because of his brutality. He was black, so most likely he had no education, unlike the white mutineers, who had an education, but they were just as savage as the cook. This is because education isn't civilization, morality is. It is the respect for another human being in which civilized manners are formed. Evidence of the scene would be Osama bin Laden. He did have an educational background, however, he was uncivilized. The problem was, he didn't have proper morals. This novel demonstrated the selfish side of humanity. For example, the mutineers disregarded the lives of others in order to achieve their interest in possessing the ship. Identically, in our society, people disregard the rights of others to achieve their own selfish goals of possessing material items. How can we call ourselves civilized if this is the society we live in? After understanding the theme of this story, I've learned the importance of morality. A good set of morals is an indication of one's character and spirit. Good morals leads to the respect of each other, which leads to stronger relationships, and then a coexistence in our society. Morality is extremely important, and having a strong set of morals creates a strong character and spirit. This novel was well written, creating plenty of suspense and having a lot of irony of situation. The ending is never what you would suspect. I would recommend this novel to readers who like stories of sea adventures, horror stories with plenty of plot twists.